This is the beef bowl. I'm going to show you how to make this today, and you're going to love it. In Japan, everyone thinks that sushi is the go-to, but actually this is the go-to. It's simple, it's delicious, it's cheap, and you can make it anywhere, anytime. So let's get into it. The Gyudon, or beef bowl.
To make this, you're going to need 50 grams of Ryourishuu, 50 grams of Mirin, 60 grams of soy sauce, half an onion, 10 grams of ginger, 200 milliliters of water, 45 grams of sugar, and about 250 grams of beef. All right, so let's finally get into this. It's pretty easy. All you're going to do is first take your onion and peel it, wash it off a little bit, and then we're just going to cut it up nice and thin. Let me move this up a little bit and fast forward so it's not taking forever to chop through this onion and so we don't waste any time. But as you can see, I am just cutting it to nice thin slices, not wasting any bit of that onion, so we can cook this nice and quickly later on. Next, take your ginger, and if you've never used ginger before or peeled ginger before, it's quite easy. You can use a potato peeler. I'm using a spoon here. This way we can get around all the little nubs a little bit easier, and it's just like peeling a potato. Just bring that spoon towards you, and the peel will come right off, just like this. You can have that skin. We'll clean it up a little bit later. And now what I'm doing is just cutting it into nice thin slices. I'm actually julienning this ginger, but you can do this. You can julienne it and cook it so everything will cook nice and evenly with your onions. Or what you can also do is just grate it. This way you're going to get a lot more ginger flavor profile in your gyudon. But some people like a stronger ginger flavor. Some people like a less strong, and maybe a more subtle ginger flavor. It's all up to you. If you don't want to use ginger, you don't have to use ginger either. If you can't find it in your supermarket, or if you just don't like ginger, don't use it. This is all up to you. Whatever you like or dislike, just omit or add whatever you want. And now that we've got our pot right here, let's just continue with what we're going to do. Now, I'm showing this meat because I want you to make sure you get the right meat when you're cooking. Gyudon's meat is really thinly sliced. As you can see right here, it's really stringy. It's really high in fat content, and you're really going to want this because this is going to make your gyudon really tender. If you can't find this in your grocery store, which might be a little bit harder to find unless there's an Asian or Japanese grocery store around you, just go to your butcher and ask them to cut it about 1 millimeter thin. And if you want to do it by hand, that's okay too. If you're really good with a knife, just cut it really thin. As I said, about 1 millimeter. The thinner, the better. That way it can cook quickly, and it'll be nice and tender after you're finished with your gyudon. So what we're going to do next is simply put our water in the pot, and we're going to turn on the water. We're going to turn on the heat, add our sugar in there, and let this dissolve a little bit. This way that you're not going to get too much sugar on one side or the other. Turn up or down your heat accordingly. Don't let this boil just yet. I'm going to put in the shoyu. All right, and next we're going to take our mirin. And mirin is just a sweet cooking sake. This is going to make it a little bit sweeter, but your grocery store should have this. Supermarket should have this, so please get this. It's really important for the dish. And then lastly, we have our Ryourishuu, which is just cooking sake. Just like white wine, this is Japanese Nihonshu, or the Japanese sake, specifically for cooking. And just mix all of those together. This is the trinity, so you're going to have these 3 main ingredients in a lot of the Japanese cooking. And then after we add those, just turn up your heat a little bit, and we're going to add our onions and just get those so they don't stick together like this. Make sure everything's spread out. We don't want anything to clump together. And let's finally put everything else in. And along with the onions, just put in your ginger as well. And that's it. So let me just get all these little pieces. I don't want to waste anything. And that's it. Let's just spread it out a little bit more. Yep. So just like this. Just get this burbling and simmer it for about 5 minutes or until your onions are clear. After about 5 minutes, it should look like this. And you can see that the onions have become a little bit transparent. They've even taken on the color of the shoyu, the soy sauce, so they're a little bit brown as well. This is going to be really important because everything in gyudon is really soft. It's really tender. If it's not cooked enough, it's going to have the wrong texture. And then all we're going to do is add our meat. And as you can see, I'm putting it in little by little like this because we don't want any of this meat to clump up as much as it could. Again, there's a high fat content, so it's really easy just to stay together, stick together. And we really don't want that. We want as much of the surface area to touch everything that's in the pot. And this way, it's going to give us a nice uniform cook. Sometimes if you're not careful and you just throw everything into the pot at once, it's going to clump together and you're going to have bits and pieces that just aren't as tender as they could be. So that's why it's going to take me a little bit of time just to put this meat in. I want you guys to see the texture of the meat also. As I said earlier, it's really stringy. It's really soft. It's actually the trimmings of the beef that you would get in the supermarket. So just try to get anything that has a large fat content, anything from the belly or something like that. This way you're going to have the right texture when you finish this. Now, it is Gyudon, so it's basically whatever you like. So if there's anything in this process that you don't like, you can take out. There are different variations, but this is the pretty standard way you could cook this at home anytime, anywhere. So there we go. Get the last little bit in. And I am the type of person that likes to clean while they cook, so just watch as I clean and cook. And let's just get all of this meat in the pot. Make sure everything's cooking through. Make sure there's nothing clumping up together. And after we do this, we're just going to let it rest for a while. You're going to see me doing this for a bit, and then in just a moment, I'm going to switch over to some chopsticks. All right, so these are the chopsticks I was telling you about. They're really long, as you can see. These are called saibashi, and you can use any pair of chopsticks, really, but these are nice and long, so you're not going to burn yourself while you're cooking. If you're cooking over fire, if there's a hot pot or something, there's no way you're going to burn yourself. And for me, I've been working with chopsticks for a long time, so I have a lot of control with them. If you're not so good at using chopsticks, you don't need to use them. Just use a spatula. It's not a big deal. This is just one of my preferred methods of cooking here. With a lot of the Japanese foods, I feel you get a little bit more control. But as you can see, just keep mixing the beef, and make sure that it's all cooking well and keep cooking evenly. Make sure there's no clumps and nothing's overcooking. Make sure that the liquid's pretty uniform over all of this beef, and then you can just leave it go. This is about 5-10 minutes later. As you can see, it's all cooked, and I have my bowl of rice. Just any bowl of rice is okay. And all you have to do is take the meat and put it right on top of the rice. It's really that easy. Yeah, and even though this is a really simple recipe, it really does have a lot of flavor to it. The meat is really tender now, so are the onions and ginger. You might not even notice that the ginger's there because it's cooked down so much, and it's become tender as well. Now, the last part I'm doing here is trying to get a little bit of the juice. If you tilt your pan up, you can get a lot more of this juice for the top of your meat. This is going to make your rice taste just like the meat does. And this is it. This is what the beef bowl should look like. Now, the pink stuff that I'm grabbing here is just pickled ginger. It's called beni shoga. This is a really popular topping for beef bowls. But again, this is up to you. Whatever you like to put on top of your beef is fine. Ginger, egg, green onions, or leeks, anything is okay.
There it is. It's that simple. So all we have to do is try. All right. Ginger, beef. That's good. All right. Till next time. Bye.
If you like this video and you're interested in more Japanese home cooking, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll be seeing you next week. Goodbye.